Hello guys, so June is the last month of the year where Kenyans are supposed to file their income tax returns. So in today's video, I've decided that we are going to have or learn something about how tax are collected, the methods of income tax, and the penalties that are there when you are not able to file your returns in good time. So remember, we have only 9 days for you to file your income tax returns, and if you fail to do so, there are penalties that you are going to incur. So stay right here as I share what I have discovered, and just to learn more about how tax are collected, the methods of income taxes, and the penalties that are involved. So stay right here, don't go away, I'll be right back. So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Money Riddle and I am your host, Getty. For the returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. For the new viewers, kindly subscribe, like and share the video, and thank you so much for tuning in too. So don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So this video today, as I had stated earlier, is a request from viewers that they learn something about the income tax here in Kenya. And this is the last month, June, where you are required to file your taxes. In today's video, I'm going to talk about income tax and the various methods that are used to collect this kind of tax. Income tax is a direct tax that is imposed on income derived from businesses, employment, rent and dividends, interest, pensions, etc. So the methods of collecting income tax are many, but in today's video, I'm going to talk about these 5 common methods that are used to collect income tax. So we have 1, pay as you earn. We have number 2, withholding tax. Number 3, installation tax. Number 4, advanced tax. And number 5, value added tax. So the most common ones are the withholding tax, the pay as you earn, and value added tax. Pay as you earn is a method of collecting tax from individuals, both residents and non-residents, in gainful employment gains or profits, including wages, casual wages, bonuses, gratuity, salaries, leave pay, sick pay, payment in fees, commissions, and entertainment. Anybody who pays salaries, that is, to employees is required to register for pay as you earn obligation. So upon which he is now required to deduct tax from the employees' salaries and remit the tax deducted to Kenya Revenue Authority. This is done before the 9th of the following month. So before the 9th of the following month, the employer is supposed to remit these taxes deducted from the employees' salaries. Pay as you earn is chargeable to persons of employment income of 24,000 and above per month. So we also have non-cash benefits like house allowances, home utilities, vehicle allowances, loans that have low interest that are chargeable to tax. On the other hand, meals provided by employer, night outs of 2K per day, reimbursements of expenses, medical covers, etc. aren't chargeable to pay as you earn. So pay as you earn returns are submitted via iTax, that is online. If you have no pay as you earn to declare, then you are required to submit a nil return. So this is to the people who don't have any income at all. They have to submit the nil return, because most of the people say, I don't have any income, why should I file for returns? You're supposed to do it, because if you don't do it, then penalties for late filing is 10,000 or 25% of the tax due. Payment for late payments is 5% of the tax due. So you see, if you just ignore and say I don't have any income, why should I file my returns, then remember you'll be penalized 10,000 shillings. So it's better you just do it. It won't cost you anything. You can either go online on iTax. You just log in with your PIN number and your password, and then you are able now to file the returns. And if you're not able to do it, then you can just go to the nearest Kenya Revenue Authority office where you can be assisted to file these returns. So number 2, we are going to talk about the withholding tax. Withholding tax is the tax withheld at source. It is the payments deducted tax prior to paying the amount due. So for examples of these payments subject to withholding tax are management, professional or training fees, consultancy fees, legal or audit fees, constructural fees, winnings, appearances or performances to entertain, royalties. Royalties are payments for purchases of rights, interest and deemed interest, dividends. So these are examples of the payments subject to withholding tax. So deductions vary between income and dependent on whether you are a resident or a non-resident. So withholding tax becomes a final tax when, because so many people get confused, when does withholding tax becomes a final tax? So withholding tax becomes a final tax when it's deducted in relation to a payment made to a non-resident person with no permanent establishment in Kenya. So a non-resident, when their tax is withheld, this now becomes a final tax to them. And number 2 is when it relates to winning, qualifying interest, qualifying dividends and pensions. So when the withholding tax is done on pensions, on dividends, on qualifying winnings or qualifying interest, those ones are now declared final taxes. So any amount withheld should be remitted to the Kenya Revenue Authority on or before 20th day of the following month. So you've been given 20 days of the following month to remit these returns. After that time, if you've not remitted the returns, there are penalties involved. So what are the penalties? A late payment penalty of 5% shall apply to the tax due, together with the late payment interest of 1% per month for the period that the tax remains unpaid. This penalty falls on the payer, the one who is going to withhold the tax. The penalties are going to fall on that person if they make late payments or they do late remittance. So it is important to it is important for you to be able to know the dates that you are required to remit these returns. So number 3 method of income tax is installation tax. So it is the estimated income tax paid to Kenya Revenue Authority periodically in anticipation of the tax payable for a year of income. So it is administered under the Income Tax Act Cap 470 laws of Kenya. The installment tax is paid in advance, so at 4 equal installments. So make sure to pay before the year of the income tax is over. So let's say, for example, if your year of income tax is over by March the next year, you're supposed to do installments, 4 installments before March next year. So be very sure about the date you're supposed to do now the final installment of your tax, so that you are not caught up. So penalty rates for late filing and payment of income tax shall apply. So penalty rates shall always apply when you do late payments or late filings. So the penalty of underpaying installment tax is 20%. Remember, you're doing 4 installments. So let's say if the first quarter you've not been able to do the payment, or you've underpaid, there's a penalty of 20% of the difference between the amount of installment tax payable in respect of a year of income and installment tax actually paid. So be very careful when you're doing the installments. Make sure that if let's say from January to April, April is the first now quarter of the installment, then you're supposed by the end of April you're supposed to make your first installment, and you should make the exact amount that you registered to be paying. Do not underpay, because if you underpay you're going to be penalized 20%. So number 4 method is advance tax. This is tax paid in advance by a public service vehicle or a commercial vehicle is licensed at the rates applicable. So these advance tax are applicable for public service vehicles and commercial vehicles. So tax rates for advance tax are, let's say for example, for vans, pickups, trucks is 1,500 shillings per ton of load capacity, subject to the minimum of 2,400 per year of income. Then for these small cars like station wagons, minibuses, and coaches, it is charged 60 shillings per passenger capacity per month, subject to the minimum of 2,400 year of income. So advance tax is just to deal with vehicles and all that. So advance tax isn't a final tax. Taxpayers who have paid any advance tax are required to declare the same in the income tax returns submitted yearly and pay any additional tax dues. So this advance tax is not a final tax. You are still required to do an income tax return. Then you submit it with the advance tax that you have done. Due dates is on 20th of January or before transfer of ownership of vehicle. So that is the due date. So you need to really be careful about the dates so that you are not caught up and then you are penalized. So the last method of tax is the value added tax, and this is mostly for business owners. They're the ones who do the value added tax returns. So Kenya Revenue Authority has restricted the addition of value added tax obligation to the mandatory requirements such as the CR12 for companies, business permits, work permits, tax compliance certificates, etc. So this value added tax is an additional obligation as a mandatory requirement for companies. So when you have all the documents required, then you can proceed to apply through the online platform, that is iTax. Then once registered, you will be required to account the VAT charged on your taxable suppliers through online monthly returns. So value added tax are done monthly. Every month you have to do to remit your value added tax returns. So we have 3 types of tax rates. We have 3 types of tax rates. So this, we have the 0%, that is the zero rated supplies. So zero rated supplies are good listed in the 2nd schedule of the Value Added Tax Act. And the other one is 8% on petroleum oils, then 16% on, this is the general rates for other goods or services. So value added tax is payable when goods or services are supplied to a purchaser. It is payable when an invoice is issued in respect of supply. It is payable when payment is received for all or part of the supply. And lastly, a certificate is issued by an architect or any person acting as a consultant. So those are the 4 areas where VAT is payable. So VAT returns are submitted monthly. As I had said earlier, you can submit it online via the iTax platform. That is on or before 20th of the following month. So you've been given 20 days extra so that you can be able to put your house in order and remit the value added tax returns. So persons with no VAT to declare are required to submit nil returns. So if, of course, maybe that month you did not do any payments, you did not do any purchases, you did not supply any goods or service, then you are required to remit or submit nil returns. So don't say that I didn't sell anything, I didn't offer any service, I didn't receive anything, and then you relax and you ignore this whole thing. You have to do nil returns. You have to submit nil returns. You pay your value added tax by generating an e-slip right after filing your returns online, which is used to physically pay the tax at the KRA appointed banks. So we have banks that Kenya Revenue Authority have appointed, so where you now take your e-slip. Once you have done your returns from online on the iTax platform, you make sure you print the e-slip, then you now go with it to the appointed banks by KRA, then you make your payments. So don't forget to do that, because if you forget to do that, then you will not be able to make any payments. So penalty for late filing is between 10,000 and 50% of the tax due, whichever is higher. So just note that if you do late returns, you will be penalized 10,000. So you can imagine every month you do late returns, you are penalized 10,000. That you are going to lose. That is a loss to your business. So penalty of late payment is 5% of the tax, and a late payment interest of 1% per month on the unpaid tax until the tax is paid in full. So you have been given enough time for you to do your returns. So make sure you do your returns on time so that you can avoid being penalized. So guys, I come to the end of this video. I hope that this video has assisted you to learn something out of it, to know the penalties that are involved when you do late filing of your returns. And I just hope you are going to do it if you have not done it, because we only have 9 days for you to do the pay as you earn returns. And for the rest, you know the dates that you are supposed to do your filings that I have stated from what I have discussed today. So I wish you good luck. For the ones who have not yet done your returns, kindly go to the next to a cyber cafe where you can be assisted, or better still, just go to any Kenya Revenue Authority office near you. You will be assisted to file your returns. Like and share this video, and of course the new viewers, kindly subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much, and bye for now.